That electric pole that you see there, we're going to stop just inside of that electric pole, and that's about 4.5 feet from the street curb. And like I say, later on, another project maybe is to finish his curb out even with the telephone pole. He's telling us that this area here, he wants to concrete and increase his driveway. He wants to put 6 parking spots in there, and he can't give us a timeline because he says it depends on some of his business and whatnot, but his plan in the future is to concrete that, and that would be an approved surface there. Like I say, we're looking at a retaining wall. If we stop it here at this telephone pole, that's gives your sight lines of nearly 10 feet at the intersection, where you can look down the intersection when you stop. You can look both ways. We won't put, if we do put anything in there, it will be low shrubs.
How high are we talking for the retaining?
I believe she said that was 18 inches.
For Jackie's?
Yeah, three.
For Jackie's, the blocks are 8 inches thick. So if we do 3, it's 24. If we do 2, it's 16.
Well,
and
we wouldn't mortar those.
There's no mortar. They're just stacked.
Look at that picture.
They're temporary.
Look at that picture. There's 3 on the sculpture there. There's 3 bricks. 3 rocks there. That's how high the way it would be. The sculpture's in 4, and then the little things on the
far
side.
Enough that it doesn't bother his exit or the street intersection. You've got plenty of open sight lines. You know, if we do plants in there, it'll be from the wind feature back towards his building. Mm-hmm. They'll be low. Won't be any. The main thing is that retaining wall. It will not be mortared in. It'll be temporary, simply for right now till he changes his parking area. But if we're allowed to come back later and put extend it on down to the curb or whatever, that is in your 15-foot setback. And we were just wanting to bring that 15 feet out to the 4.5.
Is the wind sculpt and the shrubbery they're permanent in there right now? They are mortared.
Yeah, that's over 15 feet offset from the side street, and it's legal with TxDOT. So
what you're asking is that we cut the variance by 2/3.
That we cut the
15 feet down to 4.5 feet.
Well, yeah, or allow us either to change the wording to where the retaining wall is not considered a permanent structure. I don't know how they get on their fence lines, because some of the fence lines are 3 feet. But the way the ordinance says it's 15 feet to a permanent structure. And we just want to make sure that we're on the same page as far as what a permanent structure is. The landowner, these contracts that we got are just for 5 years anyway, so they may not last longer than, if they refuse to do it after 5 years, we need to remove it anyway.
A wall in 5 years is pretty permanent.
Well, not necessarily.
That's just my opinion.
It's not mortared in.
It's, if for any reason that it has to be moved, it can be. Not being mortared in. Of course, mortared in is just a jackhammer type deal. And moving on to site 2,
y'all want to?
Yeah, we have to do them one
do you want to do them individually? Or do you want to?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just wanted to ask, what are you talking about wanting to do? None of it's going to be taller than the existing that's already there.
No, nothing in front of that at all other than this retaining wall. And we're just trying to get people to quit cutting They've got tracks through there where they, they didn't show up in the picture, but they're there plainly to be seen, where they've been cutting between the building and the wind feature.
I've seen them do it.
And of course, according to the city ordinances, there's not supposed to be any parking there at all anyway. And this would help to stop the parking.
Yes.
Now, like I say, this area coming forward, it's hard to tell, but this is at an angle from the corner of his building to this electric pole. And this all can be parking area once he concrete. And we had plans at one time to use this area, but once he told us he was going to use that for parking, we're back.
Any comments, any observations?
I haven't seen any. I haven't been over it all. This is the first time seeing it. I think.
And the plants are going to be low
Will be low.
at first. And then, I mean,
At this
how
point,
tall are they?
at this point, there's no plans to plant anything in there. Just the wall to stop the traffic. If we do any plants, it would have to be in another phase completely. It will not. Nothing will be planted in this phase at all.
That's a pretty good area, so this is going to be a start thing. The fence is the main thing. And we're going to do it in such a way that it's not really a fence, it's a retaining wall. We're going to do it in such a way that we can move it around a little bit and adjust it when he gets ready to pour his concrete. But he does plan on expanding a little bit, and he explained that to us. We wouldn't mortar the wall in at all. It would just be stacked, and if somebody did it, we might have to go back out and stack it up again. But that's the main thing, is to keep people from running between the building and
Well, we're looking for, everything is worded, a flower bed, crepe myrtle, but now you're saying all it's going to be the wall.
Well, the reason
I'm
why,
just reading.
yeah, the reason why is because when I sent this to Stacy and asked to be put on the agenda was last Thursday. Then we met with Jackie Hunt this morning. So there's no way we couldn't change the wording. So that's why the difference is. It all happened this morning as far as the changing. We were originally going to do the flower bed and some crepe myrtles. But then Jackie likes this idea better. So that's why we went with that.
And this is all phase 4, so in the next 18 months, 1 year, whatever, phase 4 should be completed.
Yeah.
As long as their money's there. So I'll go ahead and move to give them the variance for the at the setback footage at 910 2nd Street, Big Lake Beer Barn for the 2 and 3 tier wall.
Thank you very much.
Number 3, discussion of action variance within the required setback footage of 95
That's picture number 2. This corner is already in existence. In fact, the Catholic Church has always taken care of this corner. They had a advertisement sign there, and they actually had some form of brick or rock that was around that. And when we started talking about this and everything, well, we removed all that. And the TxDOT setback would be the one at the top of the picture. It runs from the stop sign across that corner. And then what would concern the city would be the one to the left. It comes down back to the yellow curve. TxDOT made an agreement with us. There's not a ramp there. They can't really put a ramp there because the poles are right in the way where the handicap ramp is supposed to go. And if they ever come to rebuild Highway 67, they requested that we do nothing permanent there, but we can do it out to this marker line. And what our plan was there was one brick tall. Just going to outline that where it's in orange, and the concrete part, we're just going to build a recess there. That's where our plants will go. The easement to the left and to the top of the picture, we're going to just put gravel, some kind of landscape gravel around the outside of that, kind of contrast the wall. But it's just going to be one layer of brick. We're not going to try to do, that's basically going to be a small garden plot for the Catholic Church, because they still want to take care of it. They just can't advertise it.
What is that sign? Which pole sign?
That's a stop sign.
And street
A
signs.
stop sign and street sign.
That's a dangerous intersection. I stay completely away from that, because it's hard to see because of the trucks that pass it. Very hard.
Well, of course, unfortunately, S&S is the most, that's the way you got to look, get through the cross traffic. The other way is pretty open. And, you know, rather than do nothing and leave that like it was, this was our best option. I believe one you say, was you going to use an 8-inch brick?
We can use
Yeah,
a,
we
we can use a
use an
6-inch,
8-inch
but
block.
the plant's going to be
Fill in dirt and put low flat plants like chrysanthemums or something low. You know, just give it some color right there.
And I'm sure that won't be right off the bat, but as we can, we're going to try to offset it with that gravel. Outer portions there. This curve extends all the way around. We've got a city curve there, so I mean, we're not trying to knock it down or, you know, anything at all. Whether it shouldn't affect any sight lines or traffic or anything.
The Catholic Church will take care of the water and
No,
That's-
sir. No, sir.
Oh, they're not anymore?
No.
Okay, well,
we removed their sign. Larry
that
Hunselman,
was the main reason they wanted that put in, was because of their advertisement sign. But how they got it there, I don't know. You know, they had to pay somebody to rent. I'm sure it wasn't the city. That's been removed, so I guess it can't be put back. That's just the basic line to the left would be a 4.5-foot offset instead of the 15-foot offset. If we had to do the 15-foot offset, it would be far outside of that.
Do we know why the Catholic Church can't advertise it anymore?
it's not that they can't advertise there. It's just that when we cleaned up that corner, we had to remove a huge metal pole. And so we went ahead and removed all of it, thinking that we were going to put a bed there. And then at that time, we weren't able to do that. And so they haven't decided if they want to put their sign back up there or if they want to put it on the other side of the highway, on the side where the church is. So I think Larry is storing the sign for them until they decide what they want to do. But everybody always referred to that as the Catholic Church bed. It was actually Larry's property.
Actually, where that all that dirt area was, they enclosed all that, which theoretically in Roadstone Highway 6 is in Roadstone TxDOT. But TxDOT said they were fine until the day they come and have to replace because if they rebuild the street, they're going to replace curbs and sidewalks and a lot of things there. At one point, I heard they were going to start last June, but I've also heard now that the hurricane got all of our money, and it may be 7 or 8 more years down the line. So,
it won't be 7 or 8 more years.
They opened up bids last week.
It won't be 7 or 8 more years.
They just
It'll
opened
be
bids on
probably,
it.
yeah, this year.
Last week.
This year, 2018 or 2019?
Yeah, probably both.
Both.
yeah, it'd be a long-term deal. If it comes to it, one row of bricks be really easy to remove. You know, I hate to kill plants, but if we got a transplant plant, we can do that pretty quickly.
Actually, Council, what Nine and I were talking about is that's going to be actually the small, even though it doesn't look it, that will be the smallest bed that we've got. So we were thinking about putting annuals in there. So because annuals grow quickly, they're pretty, you can use flower, you can use low flying things, and et cetera, and then just change them out seasonally without too much cost. It just gives that corner some color. I will say that Larry Heinzelman wanted to come to y'all here a while back for variance on this, and I stopped him. And because I didn't think that, and he wants a sculpture. So I did not think that would be because of the corner and where it's at, et cetera. I didn't think that was a good idea. We are talking to Larry about, and that's going to be in my part of the part here, but we're also talking to him about doing something else that won't require variances or anything.
So I move that we approve this as a variance at 95 2nd Street.
I have a motion by John, second by Robin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, move to the third. And that's to construct a raised flower bed within the required setback footage at 11 2nd Street, Lost Road.
You can see the square drawn around their sign. If you can look across the street, you can see the one at the donut shop. It's going to be a twin sister to the one at the donut shop. And it will that'll put our offset from the street 10 feet rather than the 15 for the leading edge there. And same thing there, we're all right with TxDOT. With low shrubs, the sight line to the right shouldn't be any more than what it is there. It'll just be a sister to the one at the donut shop.
I make a motion to request a variance for road raised flower bed at 1100 7th Street.
I have a motion by Brett and a second by David to allow the variance of 1100 2nd Street. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And last but not least, to construct one at this says southwest, but that's southeast corner of 2nd and Broadway. That's the Delaware property. Directly across from Lowe's.
Is that where you wanted to go? Because you said southwest, is this the right one?
Yeah. That property belongs to Maria De La Rosa.
Yeah.
Where the little orange building is, just for clarification.
We're not real sure whether it's going to be triangular shaped or maybe a T shape in there or what, but our offset from the side street would be 10 feet. And we're going to be also 10 feet from Highway 67. The reason being, y'all can see the electric poles in the sign. You cannot see the electric pole that I guess was knocked down sometime in the past. There's a stub there just a little bit west of that middle pole. But with the sculpture, we don't want to set it too close to to the existing structure simply for the reason it's not sealable. If we set one up there, we'd like for it to be seen. They are also planning on using the foreground area as a patio. We're planning on opening up some type of restaurant there. They'll have a little outdoor patio. I don't know how their parking is going to change. You can see that post. That's what they're using for a bump rail right now. And it's approximately 8 feet off the street. There's a curb there, but apparently they just jump up on the curb and drive up to the bump post there. It's going to be offset 10 feet, which is still within the 15-foot code there, so we would just ask them to set that one line 10 feet out.
Can I make a motion for request for variance for low raised
I have a
line
question.
bed?
Is this triangle one tier, two tier, or is the sculpture one in the center?
You have to talk to the sculpture people.
That's one thing it's not telling you. It's not telling you where the triangle is. What is it, one tier,
Well,
two tier,
here.
three tier?
It's 3 tier.
Well, it's three tier.
But being 10 feet off of Highway 67, that's way more than clear sight line.
Not for the city setback, it's not, but three, I mean, that is a very bad intersection right there too.
Yeah.
And we've nearly nailed it several times trying to get back and forth.
Can we go 2 tiers on the front
I mean,
wings?
I think,
And
if you, are you putting plants inside this area?
there'll be some.
That would be my biggest concern, would be right here. This area right here.
Could
That is a bad intersection.
Could we put 2 tiers in the front 2 wings, and a third tier to the
I
back?
think that the 3 tiers would be fine, it's the plants that go inside it that would be the concern.
Yeah, the height of the plants going inside there.
Well, there's no way that a plant will be within 12 feet of that intersection if you have if your wall 10 feet back, you've got a 12-foot sight line, and a lot of these others are only 3 feet. Textile.
Well, one thing we could do
Does it
is
set 10 foot
glass
back from the stop sign?
and no plants.
Yeah, not from the stop sign.
No, like
No.
in line on the curve is 10 foot.
The stop sign's 4 feet, but our line's going to be 10 foot.
So it's 6 feet from the stop sign.
The curb has been removed. The concrete curb has been removed, and that corner has been shortened. Across, I mean, if you turn real short across, you run over the drip rail, and you're running over bare ground because they knocked the curb out. Yeah, that pole that's broke off is like 6 inches from the drip rail on the highway.
We can work around putting any type of plant in that point on that side and make sure that the plants are to the back. That's not an issue.
You could put glass in there.
Keep anything that's any height.
Yeah.
to
That would be the
backside.
only thing I would be concerned about, is that point right there.
Because of your
I know
height
that-
stuff and being able to see
You could
around.
do that. No problem.
Well,
Of
course.
And we can drop it to 2
Rhina had mentioned to us some of this topsoil needs to be removed. It's really, really high on that corner. Also, I mean, it's washed up there pretty high, and we're going to have to cut that back even with where the curb is. They may have to cut out 4 inches.
I wouldn't mind this one if we could put low growing shrubs and make sure that they're 12 foot.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think we can do that, and I really hope at a later date on all the corners, if it can be approved, if some kind of landscape gravel, just basically to cut down where there's weeds and trash buildup and whatnot. The ones that we're maintaining, none of these people are picking up the trash pretty steady. They pick up trash all over town, to be honest with you. But, you know, we really request to keep the stuff that we put in cleaned up and a little better look.
And it's the property owners that are maintaining this thing? That I understand this now?
No, they agreed to let us put that in there, and we maintain everything inside of the flower bed. Yeah.
We don't maintain their property,
Correct.
mow it or anything like that, but we
But
do
you
maintain,
around,
we maintain what we put in there.
what you put in there now, will you trim around the outside of the,
We do when we need to.
okay, so anything like right up against it all the way around?
Yeah, we don't want to put those bricks up and then have, you know, weeds all over the bricks.
And they're really, you know, there's really not too much of a problem around the property because of the ordinance. You know, so usually they are required to keep that type stuff down.
It's my turn now. So I thought you started with the idea. I'll second it.
Have a motion by Cliff and a second by John to accept the variance southeast corner of Second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I and the Beautification Committee thank y'all very much.
Welcome. At 6:33. Everybody need a quick break. And we will we will go ahead and convene the regular council at 6:34. Certainly, I will think this day, allowing us together here, we'll be asked that you give us the wisdom to make the best decisions for this community. We ask that you be with our service members and law enforcement, first responders, who do their duties. We ask these things in Jesus' name.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On honor of the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 2, presentation by citizens regarding the agenda.
Evening.
How you doing?
I'm very nice to you. Me and my wife, Dina, on a piece of property at 9th Main Street. We have 2 witnesses there, Tony Edge, which is state guy, we also have a fun zone that's a arcade with a birthday party room. What I'd like to do on April 14th is have the second Saturday open air market. I want to mark off 10-foot booths all the way around the front of my property and the back of my property. And allow the citizens of Big Lake to bring anything they want to sell at that property, 9 to 4 on Saturday. It's like a big community garage. When is this? April 14th. We really want to do it probably April through September on the second Saturday of each month. The booths will be free. Bring what they want. You know, summertime maybe it'll be tomatoes, fresh eggs. You know, but just like a big garage.
Second Saturday.
We can't do any action on it tonight, Barry, but if this is what you want to do, you need to present us and ask for a variance for that street closure for that day. I don't want to close the street. Everything will be inside the property. It'll actually be on the grass all behind the property. There's lots of parking there now the hospital's gone. You know, I'm not going to close in the street or anything like that. Plenty of room to park. Just people to come over there during the day. Just an opportunity for the whole community to come and have a big garage sale, sell what you want, baby clothes, whatever. The booths are free.
Yeah, just a little community gathering once a month, all summer long. I talked to Stacy about it, and code officers, no problems.
The only thing I told him would be like food vendors, and of course if they had food
I told her
wagons
if
already
that
established,
happens, I'll make sure that they abide by your requirements. If not, they can't. Just a community.
As a suggestion, talk to the man right there in the black shirt, and he can post it on his TVs that are around town, so everybody will know about it.
Yeah, don't throw me under the bus. Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep it all local people. Just whatever you got. You may not have enough stuff for a garage sale, but that's
Do for a
baby clothes.
I just appreciate it.
Yeah, I think we'll have to look into the logistics part of it. But if, like I was telling him just now, if you list it as a community garage sale, type thing,
We call it Second Saturday Community Garage.
depending on how it's listed, we'll have to check on the logistics part of it. We'll just have to see as far as that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's my next step? Do I need to come back as an agenda item, or I?
Depending on how it's listed.
I guess depending on how it's listed.
Yeah.
If you want, we'll put you on the agenda for
Yeah,
the
let's
third,
make sure.
and that way we can take action. Right now
Yeah.
we just hear your plan, but that way we can take action for the third, if we need to.
Yeah.
We may come back and we say, have at it. We don't need it.
Yeah, just make sure
This way
that
we
since
can-
it's your property.
Since we can't do anything tonight, just go ahead and put it on the agenda.
Can we get the information to them quicker than that?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else who'd like to speak to our agenda? We'll move to item
Jeff?
We'll move to item number 4, discussion on National Rankin County Disaster Memorial Tree Project.
Mr. Long asked me to come and speak with y'all this evening about the Rankin County Memorial Tree Project, and I will just tell y'all something about it and what we're doing, and then just whether you want to participate or not. The Rankin County Ambassadors are a youth organization here in Big Lake. They're with the Chamber of Commerce, and they represent different organizations in town. They have different events, anything that's needed, volunteers, they go out and help. We have our own community service project right now that we've started. One of them is the Memorial Tree Project. It is not a fundraiser, it's a community service project. So what we're doing is if anyone wants to donate a tree, we have different levels that they can do. We have different trees that we're offering. We're planting the trees, we're mulching them, setting them up, and they've got plaques. We've already planted 2. We started at the care center because the care center needed shade trees. We thought that would be a great place to start. We had the care center dig the holes for us, and anywhere we plant the trees, we will have the property owners dig the holes because we don't want to get water lines, electric lines. So, we planted a large 75-gallon red oak tree and a live oak tree at the care center. The first one was donated by the family of Ralph O'Brien, and then the other one was donated by the ambassadors who wanted to get this started. We got the trees locally through Cornerstone Garden. She's bought the trees for us and delivered them. And then the kids went and actually planted the trees themselves, helped mulch it, We ordered the plaque and have it, it's already set out. We've got 3 or 4 other people that have shown interest in doing trees, and the EDC just recently donated a tree as well from the EDC. Like I said, we're going to start at the care center. We've got a place for 2 more trees around the care center for the residents, and then from there, we were thinking of going out maybe around the hospital if it needed some trees, and then out from there, we'll talk to the county, the city, anybody else that has a place around town where trees would be needed, appreciated. Your house? No.
I would appreciate them.
I have had a few people ask if they could donate a tree and have it planted at their house. We would prefer not to do that. We would like it to be out in the community where the community can enjoy it. The property owner, whether it's the care center, the hospital, or the county, is responsible for watering and taking care of the tree, and that's one of the things that we make sure that when we choose the site, it's usually pre-chosen. When we choose a site, we make sure it's a place where it's going to have water access. So something that we don't have to go and water, that it's already maybe on a timer or an irrigation system. The trees are not guaranteed, but if we make sure that they're in a place where they are watered regularly, if for some reason the tree does die for whatever reason, the ambassadors are going to take care of it. But I've already been to the care center several times just to kind of check up on the trees and make sure that they're being watered, and I even dug down in the mulch to make sure that it's good. So it's a great thing. The kids are excited about it, and I think it's a great thing for Big Lake. It's a great community service project for them. They really enjoyed being a part of it and actually going up to the care center and seeing where the trees are going to be. Some of them had never even been to the care center before or the hospital. So it's something great, and they can say they can come back in 30 or 40 years and say, I helped, plant that tree. I know that you have something in your packets that have the different levels, and I'll give you the little form that we've asked people to fill out. Like I said, we pre-choose the site, but if this is something the city wants to do and have a plaque or whatever, we'll work with people on if they have a particular place that they want to plant it. And then Nina also got us a little thing together with all the different types of trees. So then once you see the level and you see the trees, if you're not familiar with a particular type of tree, we have a little binder that has the tree, how big it grows, what it looks like.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Right. And all these trees are chosen to do well in this particular area. We haven't pine trees or anything that's not really big like. And that's really all I want.
Oh, no, you go by Coach Watkins' house, what pine trees you do? One.
Those are probably Afghan pines.
No, okay, I was going to say, those trees been there a long time.
Yeah.
Already, but
Yeah.